This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
You all ready for this?
This is a sham.
No.
Y'all,
Just stop.
get real.
Welcome to DBL. Good to see everybody up here.
Yes.
Lovely to see everybody in America. As many of you know, though, it's actually a holiday today. So we're just doing this out of the goodness of our hearts, just coming in.
Always.
Always, right. It's President's Day. Yay, Tori's favorite. A day to honor the birthdays of George Washington and Abraham Lincoln. But
We need to give examples of presidents.
I know, as if one was George and one Abe. But today we thought we'd actually talk about those two men. I don't know, you might not know them, but they're running to be our next president. They are Biden and Trump. So let's start with Trump. He is now facing a huge financial loss after the judge in his New York civil fraud case ruled against him on Friday. So Trump must now pay more than $450 million in penalties with interest. He also can't run his business in New York for the next 3 years. Meantime, he wasn't shying away. No. Trump was at SneakerCon in Pennsylvania this weekend, where he launched a pair of Trump-branded shoes. They are shiny, they are gold with the American flag on the heel, and they cost nearly $400. Meanwhile, President Biden is still busy trying to fight back against critics who say he constantly just looks confused and just lost, and that he just is wandering, and that he struggles with his memory. It's not a good look. So what do we think of all the state of the presidential race?
Okay, can we talk about SneakerCon first?
Please.
I find this to be fascinating. I really pay attention to people. Like, I study them in a way, like whether I agree with them or not, because when you look at a Trump, one thing you can't take away from this man or the people around him is the ability to brand. I really want to know what the analytics are on that sneaker. Those shoes were going for $2,400 to $3,000 as collector's items this weekend alone, which means that likely, just because sneakerheads in general, this is such a huge industry.
It is.
And people become millionaires off of this. So I'm wondering, I'm curious, who was the purchase? Because clearly it was about the sneakers, but it's also about the youth vote. But my thought is that the youth vote that would go to Trump aren't the people who are purchasing those shoes. I really want to know who's purchasing the shoes and what the situation is, but the correlation between the votes.
Who's the demo?
Right.
Who's the demo for those shoes? What do you think?
You know, those are fun. I can see that. I didn't even think about collector's items, but that's a great point because gym shoes go upwards of $100,000.
Yeah, they do.
So this would be an item that you could have, you know, I don't know. As a collector's item, I could see that.
Yeah.
As everyday use, like a Yeezy or something, you know, that flew off the shelves. I don't think that's the case here.
Right.
But as a collector's item, I see Colby Covington, and I know people don't know who that is. He's a UFC fighter that kind of prods people with his support of Trump just to make people angrier.
He would wear these, wouldn't he?
Definitely see him walking out in his next fight with these shoes on. But that's as far as that goes. I think it's more of a gimmick, a prop thing. I kind of want to get to Biden because now it's everyone's talking about it. And when I talked about it a couple years ago, you guys questioned me. You said, he doesn't fall over, and I had to give you examples. And I said, we never showed that on the show. Now America is on the same page. I don't know why they weren't before when I was talking about it, but this is a real issue that we have to face. And again, not supporting Trump, I don't like either of these choices that we have. But this obviously cannot be our president. It can't be. And he will not. If he's deteriorating at this speed, what do you think another 4 years is going to be? So it is a real issue that we have on our hands, and we need to start talking about it instead of hating each other for bringing it up. It's obvious.
And let me validate you real quick. Ezra Klein and some major people in the liberal left are now bringing it up just as much as you are. They're saying they're talking to the Obamas in that range of people, saying at some point at the convention, will Joe step down with dignity and offer up the states to make that choice? It's happened before, but could you see that happening?
Oh gosh, I really hope so. I think it would put people's opinion of Biden would go through the roof, obviously, and I think it's the right thing to do. Like, I agree with both everything that Erica and Jeff just said. I don't think either person is particularly right for the role. I do not have the ability to vote, so my voice is very meaningless here. But, you know, as for the sneakers, I think it's absolutely genius. If I ever saw them, I would even buy them.
I think they're objectively
100%.
horrendous looking, but that is my opinion.
I think they are fabulous.
That's
I
great.
love them.
And that's what branding is all about. As part of President's Day, a recent survey of experts ranked our presidents from best to worst. At number 1, Honest Abe. Huh? President Biden ranked at number 14, and former President Trump was ranked dead last at number 45, which was also his presidential number. What do we think of the rankings in order? Do you guys want to guess the top 5? Anyone?
I would say the ones people could just spit off.
Yeah.
Remember, Washington, Thomas Jefferson,
Yeah.
right? All the things you could just spit off.
Yeah.
People don't know the presidents. Hey, you want to do a survey and rank the presidents? Get away from me.
Oh my God, it's the ruler of our country.
FDR,
Thank you.
JFK.
Thank you. No, not JFK. He was picked as most overrated.
Oh, I know who. Reagan's up there.
No.
Really?
It's Lincoln, FDR, Washington, Roosevelt, and Jefferson. Obama ranked at 7.
Everybody on money. Everybody on money.
I thought Obama might have been up there.
Yeah.
Possibly in top 5. 7, that's really good.
Yeah. Kennedy ranked 10, Reagan ranked 16, Nixon ranked 35, and Clinton ranked 12. Hypothetically, who do you think voters picked as the next president to be on Mount Rushmore?
Oh, I already know.
Ooh.
Sorry.
Who?
I would have guessed JFK, but apparently not.
Yeah, apparently there's some backlash over JFK. It's FDR. FDR. I got to say, if you had to go with anybody, FDR pulled us out of the Great Depression with grace and dignity. May he rest.
Oh, it's President's Day.
It's President's Day.
Great fact on President's Day,
Thank you.
Tori. If you're going to share any of those factoids,
It's
today's
today.
the day.
Today is the day.
FDR, that Roosevelt.
Come on.
My Roosevelt left yesterday.
I'd rather have
he was
that
the top.
Roosevelt on there.
That Roosevelt would
His
be
name
great.
is Roosevelt.
Her dad's Roosevelt. All right, coming up on DBL, our interview with the Rachel Dratch. She's sharing how the idea for her iconic SNL character, Debbie Downer, came to be. Plus, we've got an award show recap with Michael J. Fox making a surprise appearance at the Baftas and Adam Sandler's funny speech at the People's Choice Awards coming up next.
Prepared for the icon thing, but I'm going to do the
Steph, we were saying in the break, before we started the show, which I thought was interesting. In England, they don't have a President's Day or celebrate the King or Queen Day.
Or we don't have whoever is in office, like the leader of the country. We don't have like the head of state day or anything like that.
You don't have like King's Day?
No, we don't have. We have like when it was the coronation or like the birthday.
Right, but no king.
But we don't have like overall like who was the best monarch day. You know, no.
Interesting.
Or we don't have I don't know, Tony Blair Day.
You don't have Prime Minister Day either.
No.
It's kind of, me and my wife were talking we were talking over the weekend, and I was like, President's Day is like, decades ago, it held such prestige and honor.
Yeah.
And you looked up to these people leading the country, and now it just feels like it's a joke, and there's not any sort of prestige or honor. And you could blame whoever you want for that, but it just doesn't feel like it carries that sort of weight.
I think that decline is in conjunction with the decline of how we feel about our politicians.
And people in general.
But at some point, I can't explain to you, General Washington, if you didn't know, led people in the American Revolution, and he led them in a way that he would be known as one of the greatest generals of our time. He then went on to create America and literally create the 3 branches of government, the Constitution. No one has conquered and done more for democracy than Washington. Are there issues with Washington and Jefferson? Absolutely, dealing with slavery and all of that. But I have to say, if you don't know Washington's history, his men were filled with smallpox, and it was raining, and they wanted to be out, and he led these men in strategic ways to take over the British. I'm so sorry, Stephanie.
No, it's okay.
And my apologies.
They deserved it.
Too soon.
Too soon. But Washington's fascinating because he was, I think, 26, 27 as a general, leading these men and winning in the worst of times. So no resources whatsoever. Interesting guy. Welcome back to DBL. Yesterday was the Bafta Awards in London. People are saying it's an indicator of what might happen at the Oscars. Oppenheimer swept the awards with 7 wins, including Best Film, Leading Actor, Supporting Actor, and Director. And the cast of crew of Poor Things had 5 wins, including Leading Actress, while Killers of the Flower Moon and Barbie were totally shut out. But everyone's talking about the crowd giving Michael J. Fox a standing ovation as he came out to present the award for Best Film. I get chills only because I say the words Michael J. Fox. What does he mean to you, Jeff?
You know what? What does he mean to me?
He means something to me. He does. He means a lot to me.
Strange way to just throw the ball in my direction.
In comedy, in perseverance, in medical conditions, in raising awareness, in money, that man is a hero. That's what he means.
You should answer.
Maybe I answered too. I thought he meant.
So, Joy, what do you think about hemmed jeans? What? I don't know what we're talking about. No, Michael J. Fox, of course, is an icon. Growing up, watched him on Family Ties throughout, Back to the Future and things like that. But you know what? And again, people are going to think this is off-colored in some sort of way. But he was on Curb Your Enthusiasm, and he played himself, and he upped. He leaned into his diagnosis, right? So there's a scene, again, if you think this is off-color, I'm sorry, but, where he's kind of feuding with Larry, and he gives Larry a soda when he comes over, like a refreshment, and it explodes in Larry's face. He's like, Michael, was that the Parkinson's? Or he goes, no, Larry, I didn't do it. It's the Parkinson's. So he leans into it, which kind of brings awareness. Sometimes when someone has an issue, whatever it may be, some people are scared to talk on it because they don't want to get in trouble or they think they might say something wrong. When you lean into it, maybe bring comedy into it, it makes it easier to talk about. And it makes it more acceptable. Not saying any way you handle it isn't acceptable, but I do applaud him for that.
I do too. My mom would come up to the wheelchair and she'd go, you want to race?
Right.
Just to make it more like they were scared, She'd go, let's race. So same kind of thing. The People's Choice Awards also took place yesterday. Adam Sandler was awarded the People's Icon Award, but he pretended he won People's Sexiest Man Alive Award. Let's take a look at this. Erica, let's get your take after.
And I am the sexiest man alive. Can I get a here? I am trying to be gracious, People magazine, but I have to admit 3 words keep popping into my head right now. About freaking time.
Okay. Lenny Kravitz was also honored with the Music Icon Award, and he performed a medley of his songs spanning his career. Let's take a look at this.
To know.
He is so cool.
He is. I'm going to be a mother to a Lenny. Watch. I'm going to manifest that.
Wow.
I'm going to manifest a little
You're going to be a mommy, too?
Yep.
Those are some big shoes.
I'm going to manifest
I am obsessed with that. How cute is that?
I had to laugh because the Adam Sandler. Remember a few years ago, I went on vacation.
Yeah.
And my husband and I were at this, beautiful resort in California, and I was really feeling some type of way because we could not get service at the pool. It was like taking so long, and I was like, why do they keep continuing? I'm all in my feelings. And this dude who's like dressed like he rolled out of bed. There's all these people around him, but like his kids and stuff, like his family's around him. And he's like yelling to this girl in the pool, and he says hi to me, and I'm like, hey, what's up? And I'm like, this Adam Sandler looking blankety blank is over here getting all the attention. And my husband's like, that's Adam Sandler. And I was like, oh, we're not getting attention because we're poor.
We're not
Got it. Got it. I was like, my mind was going somewhere else.
Nope,
I was like, wait a minute.
Nope.
Wait a minute.
That's hysterical. Just because you're poor. Well, Lenny Kravitz will always look up to you. Coming up on DBL, I hope you look up to this. We're talking with comedian and actress Rachel Dratch all about her podcast. It is called Woo Woo. What is Woo Woo all about? Welcome back. If you're a Saturday Night Live fan, then of course you know Rachel Dratch and her infamous character Debbie Downer. Well, now she's taking her hilarious comedic timing to the animated series Grimmsburg. Earlier we spoke with Rachel.
Who's Roy? Roy of Siegfried and Roy. He was attacked by his own tiger and suffered devastating injuries.
We love her. Please welcome to the show, Rachel Dratch.
Hi. Hello. All right, we're going to get to your show, but first, I have to ask you about your new podcast, Woo Woo. You talk about all things ghosts and supernatural, and I hear Amy Poehler and Tina Fey might have been the inspiration for Woo Woo. Tell me all about it.
Over the years, I've just heard some crazy ghost stories and psychic experiences and stuff like that from my friends. And, you know, everyone kind of has a ghost story you sort of discover. So then I was like, oh, this would make a fun podcast. So it's talking about all that kind of stuff, you know, the world of woo-woo. And so, yeah, Amy Poehler, she's kind of a non-believer, but she talks about the Enneagram, which is this personality test. And Tina has a ghost story that took place in Cape May, New Jersey, which is very close to like a lot of people there have the Philly accent. So she tells hers in kind of a Philly accent.
Well, it seems like, you know, you have people on that are non-believers and some people that are. So I have to ask you, are you a believer? Have you seen a psychic? If you have, did the prediction come true?
Okay, so pretty much every episode I end up saying, like, okay, I'm not fully into this, but here's a story, like, see what you think of this. So I'm not full, like, crystals and, you know, consulting a psychic every week, but some of these stories are pretty compelling. I did have a psychic story where a psychic did tell, and I talked about this on the first episode, actually, a psychic did tell me when I was 43 that I was going to have a child, and I wasn't even dating him, and I was like, what? And then she said, you're going to meet someone in 3 to 6 months and have a child. And then that's exactly what happened.
What?
So that kind of really turned my whole, you know, skepticism on its ear, I'll say, yeah.
I want the name of that psychic.
I know, it's pretty crazy, yeah.
So, Rachel, I gotta ask you this because I spent so many hours laughing at Debbie Downer. I mean, especially the one with Jimmy Fallon and Lindsay Lohan. Oh my God, I can watch that 100 times a day.
Me too.
It's one of the most iconic SNL characters. Do you ever find yourself being her in real life? What brings her out?
Oh, that's a good question. Well, I think I have an inner Debbie Downer, and I always have, but I know to edit her. Like, I know when you're not, you know, when you're sitting at a party and someone says, like, oh, it's so warm out in December, then I don't go, like, that's because of climate change. Like, so I put the you know, an editing button, but Debbie Downer does not. And so a lot of people come up to me, and that's probably the character I'm most known for, because so everyone knows a Debbie Downer, which people tell me on the street, like, that's my sister, that's my boss, whatever. So definitely tapped into something there, yeah.
Yeah, we don't know anybody like that.
I'm not like
All right,
that.
no, I have to ask you. I'm just kidding. What would Debbie say about 2024?
I don't know what Debbie would say about 2024 because it's such a giant topic that I would need to zero in on something. But anyway,
I would kind of go like, you know, we have 2 great candidates.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. A lot of youthful energy to choose between.
There you go.
It's that eyebrow. It's an eyebrow. Excellent.
I had to go there.
Let's talk about your show, Grimmsburg, because you play a young boy. Do you use any real life experiences from your own son in the show?
I don't say no. So this kid, so I play John Hamm's son on Grimmsburg, and this kid is very different from my son. But so John Hamm is kind of this deadbeat dad sort of guy, and so my character Stan is just always hoping and trying to get his attention and trying to kind of win him over in this way that's kind of sad and I guess kind of funny for the viewers. But anyway, so no, I don't think he's that similar to my son. But I think, you know, when you the thing I love about doing voiceover is, like, you know, who you are in real life has no bearing because you can be anything in voiceover. So you just kind of try to channel this dude, this little dude. And so, you know, he kind of talks like he's sort of, you know, someone that's a bit of an outcast, and, you know, he feels kind of a low self-esteem. And so you try to just, like, think, what would that person sound like? So I wasn't thinking, like, what's the real child behind this? You know? Right. It's a little more goofy. That's my approach. I'm not very, you know, method acty, I guess. So,
no, it's cool.
I think it's so cool to have Don Draper as your dad.
Yeah.
Bossing you around. What is it like?
Yeah. Well, you know, it's another funny thing about voiceovers. You're not in the voiceover booth with the other characters. So you're just doing your thing. I mean, these are things, you know, I didn't know this before I started doing animated, but, you know, you're in your own little voiceover booth and he might be in LA or something. You just do your own session. But I know him just from, you know, the comedy scene. And he's very cool and nice and exactly what you might think. Yeah.
You'd want.
I know. I love it. I love it. DBL Nation, for new episodes of Grimsburg, tune into Fox every Sunday. Thank you again, Rachel. Wow.
That was
so cool
awesome.
talking to you. We'll be right back.
Thank you.
This February, enter the Sandals Blue Valentine giveaway to win an all-inclusive vacation to the brand new Sandals St. Vincent and the Grenadines or any Sandals resort of your choice. Watch DBL every day for a word of the day. Then enter at dailyblastlive.com/sandals for your chance to win a 4-day, 3-night escape for 2. The winner will be announced on DBL February 28th. Today's Sandals word of the day is sunglasses.
Thought it was thatched hut. Welcome back. Do you want to have whiter teeth but don't want to deal with the messy strips or sensitivity that goes with it? You're in luck. The brand that brought you Power Whitening Gel has created new Smile Actives Pro Whitening Gel with 33% greater whitening power. power. Effective tooth whitening can be achieved at home by simply adding the Pro Whitening Gel to the toothpaste every time you brush. There's no change to your routine, there's no extra time or effort needed, and in a clinical study, users did see an improvement of up to 8 shades after using the gel for just 30 days. Smile Actives is safe and effective and will even work on crowns, bonding, and dentures. So order today for special buy one, get one free offer. Don't wait to get your brighter, whiter smile. Call 1-800-700-4040 or visit smileactives.com today. I have a cool fact about a president. Does anyone want to know?
Tell us, Tori.
Yes. Okay, so Theodore Roosevelt was giving a speech. If you didn't know, he was a strong man, a rough rider, and he gave a speech. And right after he gave the speech, 50 minutes it lasted, he said this: "Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know whether you fully understand that I've just been shot." He was shot before the speech. It hit a book, and he remained, and he kept speaking. He goes, "I've just been shot, but it takes more than that to kill a bull moose." And he went on, he got it stitched up, and he was okay. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It really is.
Isn't that?
That's where the phrase, if you shoot, don't miss,
That's
comes from.
very true. Fascinating, isn't that right, everyone?
Wild.
Yeah. Okay. Glad everyone had that. DBL is new every day.
I let you sit in that one. I did it on
sweating.
purpose.
I am so uncomfortable. DBL's new every day. We'll see you same time, same place tomorrow. It's interesting. It's interesting.
It is. It is.